Every business has goals, but most importantly, life insurance agents are now seeing why you having high standards equates to you consistently being at 40K months and having your business, i.e., your agency, issue pay $1 million per month. My name is Trey. I'm the owner of Agent Lead Lab. We've helped 550 agents issue pay $40,000 per month in the past 3.5 years and growing. And on this channel, I try to break down strategies, tactics, and behaviors of our top clients and individual agents and what they are doing. Make sure that you always like, comment, subscribe. Let's hop right into the video. So today I want to put a large emphasis on sales goals and applying pressure to hit $40,000 a month. And as always, I try to give a backstory. So where did this come from? I'm going to go from my own business and one of our agency partners. Okay. So I'm going to give you a quick story. Now, when I started working with this agency, they were doing 300K a month as an agency. Okay. And between 300 and 400K a month. Okay. And when we started working together, they were like, hey, we're looking to gain momentum. We're buying from a bunch of lead sources. We want to bring everything in-house. Right. So over the next 3 months, we had a roller coaster. And I'm going to kind of break down what a roller coaster is. Roller coaster. So we went from doing, just so you guys have a clear understanding, I think they were at 350 a month with us. Okay. Then they went down to actually 300 month 2. But then month 3, they went to 450. In this past month, they went up to $650,000. Okay. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because for most people, they would quit here. They'd say, hey, man, we were doing between 300 and 400. First month, we did 300,000, 350, which is kind of middle ground. But we're working with you. We're paying more. We're supposed to be getting these leads. Things are supposed to be better. Whatever. Next month, things get worse. They're like, oh, my goodness, most people get scared. They say we want to jump ship. But then the third month, it actually jumps up again. And then now we're at 650 and we'll push towards $1 million in the next, 3 or 4 months. The reason why I'm bringing this up and it's super important for today is because the thing that changed is 2 things. Okay. Number 1, it changed the culture around buying leads and working. Okay. What do I mean by that? So when you change the culture around buying leads and working, 2 things inherently happen. Number 1, it just shifts their mindset. Most people, when they look at leads, they're trying to spend the least amount to squeeze everything out. So they're going to say, hey, man, I only want to invest $500 because I don't know. But they have a $5,000 card, but they're not willing to put $1,000, not knowing that if they spent $1,000 and it got uncomfortable, they'd probably make more. Right. And that's where they're working. They tie hand in hand. I think most of the times we think, hey, when you start, right, if you're not an agency, and this is for those people that are trying to hit 40K consistently, trying to hit $1 million a month consistently, when you're starting your agency and your agent journey, the first, few weeks to a month or 2, you're just buying leads as you can because you may not have the funds. So, and you need to also get the reps. Once you get the reps, you should not start buying less leads. You should not start trying to penny pinch your budget. You should spend more. You should be more aggressive. And if you lose, you lose. It's okay. It's just money. You'll get it back when you know you have good skills. Most people try to operate within this framework that says, I'm only going to spend this much because I'm going to try to squeeze as much as I can out of it. And it's like, yeah, I guess that's okay when you're starting. But when you're growing, you should be focusing on other parts of the business that have leverage, not focusing on some activities that other people can do. It makes 0 sense. And it's also reverse to what we should be focusing on. Right. So that's how you establish like a culture. Okay. So that was the first thing that they did. They said, hey, we're going to get a culture around buying leads and working. The second thing is they started to create a standard for their team office. Okay. Now, what was that standard? Right. At this point, it's buy this many leads. It's dial this many times. Rewards for best performer. Right. And it's incentivizing growth. Now, most people are like, well, I might set the buy. You don't have a standard for buying leads. You should have a standard. Oh, yeah, just go buy some leads. No, you should tell them how many to buy. Okay. So how many should they buy? It doesn't matter what their numbers are. This is a conceptual. All of my videos try to focus on concepts. That's what I'm trying to get at. Dial this many times. Okay. How many times do I need to dial? Okay. We're going to dial until XYZ. I have a whole video that breaks this down, the way that you look at setting the standards in your organization. Dial until this amount. That's how you should phrase it. Okay. And then rewards for the best performer, right? This is really what I want to, take a little bit of time to break down. This is essentially going to be who is the best. Who wants to say that they're the best? If you don't have any sort of inherent competition, it doesn't matter. That's why I love sports, because every single day is a competition. You either getting beat or you're making a play. It's that simple. You're either losing or you're winning. And it's clear cut. It's not black and white, and the entire world can see it in front of you. I'm from that culture. I'm from let's do it. Let's compete. You're either going to win right now or you're going to lose. Point blank, period. Right. And then incentivizing growth. So this is establishing the importance of building business. Right. These are the things that become a focal point. Right. If you don't have these things, then what difference does it really make? So let's look at it. Okay. We already talked about the culture around buying leads and working. We went over that. That's what we're going to do that. Okay. Now I want to talk about the standard for the team in the office. Now, for leads, I always focus on what are the goals. So you have to track your KPIs. I have a whole video on that about tracking your numbers. If you do not know what that means, or you don't know what a KPI is, there's literally going to be a video. It's the last video. You can just pause for a second, go to my page, open it up. There's a video, I think it's called Tracking KPIs for Success. Actually, I'll just do you one really better. I know I could link it, but I haven't invested the money in the team to be able to do it. So I'm just going to make it real easy for you. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go here. It's right here. Stop guessing the metrics that actually make you money, right? It's an entire video breakdown that will show you exactly what you need to do, right? So we're going to do that one. So that was going to be for tracking your numbers. You want to go see that? There's a whole video. That video is 16 minutes long. It's a full breakdown where I show some examples. Next one is dial this many times. So this is dial until. Okay, so what I mean by this is you need to figure out how much do you need to work to hit your standard. I'm almost positive that's the one. All right, so it's actually this one. Stop losing to no shows. Okay, so another video. You can watch that one as well. That's going to be dial until. So that basically shows you, how to book / work leads for optimization. And all that means in a nutshell is how many times do you need in your office to dial XYZ lead type in order to get XYZ outcome? Now, there's videos I have from a few months ago where I talk about deciding what lead type is best for your agency. So the way you look at it is based off demographics and what you want to do. If you're somebody that wants to work and get off at 4 or 5 and really wants to have more of a volume of work, then you need to go with something like final expense, right? If you're just going to be doing one call closes. Now, I recommend even if you're doing final expense, you work until 7 or 8 because I'm just that type of dude. And I would expect if you're trying to build a team that has that type of character and mindset that you would want to do that too. But you pick your lead types based off of the demographics that you prefer to work with. And in a point where everybody says, oh, I want to work with these people, but until you know what those demographics actually require you to do, then you may say you might not want to do that. Like everybody says they want to work with high ticket clients until they realize that it can take you 9 days till you get paid. That they can realize that they're busy, and it's going to be, you're not just going to be able to call them through the day. You're going to have to work on weekends. You're going to have to work when you don't want to work because they're working when you're working too, because they have money just like you do. So, you got to be able to make a schedule flexible around that. That's super important. But you need to have a standard for how many times you should dial, and that should start with the leads, right? It always starts with the leads. That's the baseline, because you have to base your dialing frequency, what the KPIs are, how much they can make based off the leads that they choose. So the rewards for the best performer, really simple. This is what I want to spend time on. Who is the best, right? I even have introduced this as my business, and it's completely changed the framework at which the reps and people here look at the opportunity. When you set a goal, if you're really about what you say you're about, then you reach for that goal with all of your effort, and the best person comes out on top, and you're really able to see who's really about that action. Like everybody's like, oh yeah, they do the little cheesy line, like everybody's a dog until a real dog shows up, right? But the way I look at it is at the end of that day, having incentivized, and not incentivized growth, but having a way to make sure that you give a reward to the person who performs the best is super big, because then you start creating a culture around the behaviors that are necessary. So as you can see, we start with leads, then we have behaviors, then we have rewards, and then we have growth. It's stepping stones. You got to figure out how many leads you need to buy and what leads they need to do. They need to figure out how much times they need to do to make a sale. They need to see, once they have this formula, this is input. This is input to output. Then it's just like another input is to become the best. So if you need to buy 1,000 leads a week, or let's say 100 leads a week, and of those 100 leads, you're going to close 10 people, right? And then of those 10 closes, you're going to make 20K. And then the goal is who can win Well, then if you just say like, hey, I'm gonna this week, I'm gonna do 100, or I'm gonna do $1,000 a week to get, 100 leads at $10 a lead. I'm just making something up. If you want to win, you have two options. You can either 2K a week, right, and make 20 sales a week and put 40 grand into your pocket, and then 40 times 4 is 160,000. Or you could do, $1,000 a week every 4 weeks, and now you'll do, 20, 40, 60, 80, 80K, right? And then you just start creating, but you need to have the metrics and like the input output on the front end for people to believe in so they can know what decision they need to make. Then if you want to be the best, you just say, I'm just going to do more than the next person because I know exactly what I need to do. It's already created in the culture. And that's how you grow. That's how you go from 450 to 250. They didn't change a whole, they got a few more writers, but it's not like they got a crazy amount, right? I'm pretty sure they have like, I want to say they have like 15 writers, 15 to 20 writers. I think they maybe grabbed another 10. No, definitely not 10. I'm sorry. They grabbed another five between this month and this month. So it's not like drastic, but then you have people writing more, right? If you have every agent writing 20K and not every agent's writing 20, like 30K, that's 10K plus per person. If you have 10 people, right, that's an extra $100,000. If you have 15 people, right? So if you have a few people that write 20, a few people write 5, people write 10K more because they just increased their output, like, dude, you're climbing. So you figured out what numbers actually make sense for you, right? Then it is incentivizing growth. This is like when people inside this organization start building teams. So how do they go from 650 to a million? That's the next question, right? So next question is how do they go from 650K to a million? This is super simple. How do they do that? All they do in that instance is they're going to go from 650K to now $1 million. Sorry. It's really simple. All they're going to do is continue to do the same thing that they're currently doing, and then they are going to incentivize growth internally. So you can blow up really fast the right way if you start with just doing this, or even if you do these two, you can blow up. But if you really want to go fast, you start giving rewards, right? And then if you really just want to take it to a whole nother level, you start having the team inside of the team create a team. So if I have a team and then John's on my team and he's my top guy, I incentivize him to grow and then we blow up. And then he has his team. And then I go to Sadie and then I go to Susie and then I go to Jane and then I go to Mark and then I go to Jacob and then I go to, right? And then I just start boop, boop, boop. This is how you create all these legs that are profitable and they have their own little individual teams. And that is essentially what you need to do, right? And that's really the only process. So people get kind of caught up in figuring out like, oh, well, how do I know if this is going to be the right method for me? It's like, yeah, well, easiest way to look at it is, are you incentivizing growth for your team, for the people that are in your organization? If you are, then at the end of the day, you're going to push them to do what they need to do. They're going to grow. They're going to implement these strategies, and then everybody's going to be successful. And that is how teams are able to grow effectively. You have to have these goals, right? Like these are goals, right? Like these are sales related. How many leads do you buy? How many times do you dial? Can we create a culture? And then this is more just like internal growth, but like then you just decide to grow. And that's how we got here because I was going through and like they got their report and they did 650,000. I was like, dang, right? So at the end of the day, that's our emphasis. We want to figure out how can we facilitate growth by applying pressure to our teams, but also create a culture that has a standard that you have to reach. So as always, my name's Trey, the owner of Agent Lead Lab. Like I said, we've been in business a decent amount of time, going up on 4 years. We've helped over 550 agents hit 40, numerous more at this point, continue to grow. And my main emphasis really is just helping individual agents and agency owners also do that same thing, right? We want to have 1,000 people that have issue paid 40K, right? That would be like really dope for us to do. With us being able to do that, we also are going to need people. So if you're interested in potentially working with us and growing, cool. If not, just keep watching the content. You can go to agentleadlab.com to book a call. We have what's called our Apex package. It's essentially where you hire us to come in and build your business for you. We also have our free partnership package. You have to qualify for that. That is going to be essentially where we come in and we give you leads, you buy the leads, and after you hit a certain threshold, you will officially become a partner. So you're kind of like signing up to get into that as like a beta testing round. If you do end up doing that, then we end up partnering up with you and allowing you to grow and partner with us. It's free of cost. And then if you just want to buy leads, a la carte your individual agent, you go to leadlabcrm.com and check us out. As always, please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll check you guys next time.